Have you ever wondered how to cultivate your own Eden amidst the concrete jungle? In the heart of our bustling cities, a revolution is taking root. Urban gardening is reshaping the way we interact with our environment, turning balconies into bountiful harvests and rooftops into restful retreats. But it's not without its challenges. Limited space, pollution, and lack of traditional soil can make it a tricky endeavor. However, urban gardening is not just a trend, it's a lifestyle that brings us closer to nature despite the skyscrapers around us. Urban gardening requires creativity and ingenuity. It's a challenge, a puzzle to solve, an adventure in every sense of the word. It's about making the most of what you have, turning the constraints of the city into opportunities. Let's start with balcony gardening. It's a testament to what you can do with a little bit of space and a whole lot of heart. These are your mini Edens, your private retreats amidst the concrete jungle. In these little pockets of paradise, every pot, every plant, every leaf is a thing of beauty and a testament to your ingenuity. Then, there's the rooftop garden, a canvas as wide as the city skyline where the sky is truly the limit. Here, you can create a garden that rivals any on the ground. It's a place where you can grow vegetables, herbs, and even small fruit trees. It's an urban farm, a green oasis, a sanctuary above the hustle and bustle of city life. Window ledges, too, play a pivotal role in urban gardening. These narrow strips of space are often overlooked, but they can be transformed into a lush, hanging garden. With the right plants and a little bit of care, your window ledge can become a green curtain that purifies the air and beautifies your view. Finally, we have community gardens. These are shared spaces where people come together to grow. They're not just about plants, but about community, about connection, about working together to create something beautiful. These gardens are a testament to the power of collective effort, and they remind us that even in the city, we are a part of nature. Each of these types of urban gardens is unique, and each requires its own set of solutions, but they all share one thing in common. They are born out of creativity, out of a desire to bring a bit of green into the gray of the city. They are proof that with a bit of ingenuity, a dash of creativity, and a whole lot of love, any space can become a vibrant oasis. In the city, any space can become a vibrant oasis. Choosing the right plants is crucial for successful urban gardening. This statement couldn't be more accurate. So let's dive into the world of urban flora, shall we? When selecting plants for your urban garden, one of the first factors to consider is sunlight. Some plants bask in the glory of full sun, while others prefer the cool comfort of shade. Observe the sunlight pattern in your garden area throughout the day. If it gets 6 or more hours of direct sunlight, opt for sun-loving plants like tomatoes, peppers, or marigolds. If the area is mostly shaded, fear not. Ferns, hostas, or impatiens are great options that thrive under a canopy of shade. Air quality is another important aspect. Cities often grapple with air pollution, and some plants are better equipped to handle this than others. Spider plants, snake plants, and peace lilies are not just attractive additions to your urban garden, but they're also champions at purifying the air. Now let's talk about space constraints, a reality for most urban gardeners. But don't let that stifle your green dreams. Instead, think of it as an opportunity to get creative. Vertical gardening, hanging baskets, or container gardening can make the most of your limited space. For these arrangements, consider plants with a compact growth habit like herbs, succulents, or dwarf varieties of vegetables and fruits. And let's not forget about the local climate. Choose plants that are hardy and adaptable to your city's weather conditions. Whether you're dealing with sweltering summers or frosty winters, there's a plant out there that's ready to weather it with you. Lastly, consider the maintenance needs of the plants. If you're a busy urbanite, opt for plants that require minimal care. Succulents, for instance, are low maintenance and forgiving to occasional neglect. With these expert tips, you're well equipped to select the right plants for your urban garden. Embrace the constraints, get creative, and you'll be amazed at what you can grow in the heart of the city. Remember, the right plant can thrive even in the smallest of spaces. Think you don't have enough space? Try looking up. When it comes to gardening in the city, one of the biggest challenges can be a lack of horizontal space. But who says gardens need to be spread out across the ground? Enter the world of vertical gardening. This innovative approach sees plants growing upwards rather than outwards. It's a game changer for urban gardeners, turning walls, balconies, and even windows into potential green spaces. Vertical gardening is not just a space saver. It's also a fantastic way to add a touch of nature to your urban environment. Imagine a wall of lush greenery, with a colorful array of flowers, herbs, and even vegetables. It's like having your own personal oasis in the heart of the city. So, How can you get started with vertical gardening? It's easier than you might think. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment or a big budget. All you need is a little creativity and a willingness to experiment. Here are a few DIY solutions to get you started. First, consider using hanging pots or baskets. These can be easily attached to walls or hung from ceilings, and they're perfect for a variety of plants. Second, try using a trellis or a ladder. These structures provide a sturdy framework for climbing plants, turning an ordinary wall into a living tapestry. But don't stop there. Think outside the box. Old pallets, shoe organizers, even plastic bottles can be repurposed into vertical gardens. The possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Remember, the key to a successful vertical garden is choosing the right plants. Some plants naturally grow upwards, like climbing vines, while others, like herbs and strawberries, do well in hanging containers. Do some research, experiment with different plants, and find what works best for your space and your lifestyle. And finally, don't forget about maintenance. Vertical gardens may require a bit more care, especially when it comes to watering. But with a little planning and attention, they can thrive in an urban environment. With vertical gardening, the sky's the limit. So why not give it a try? You might be surprised at what you can grow, even in the smallest of spaces. Urban gardening is not just about beautifying spaces, it's about sustainability. And what does sustainability mean in the context of urban gardening? It's about making choices that benefit not only our plants but also our planet. Consider composting, for instance. Did you know that the average household generates nearly 200 pounds of kitchen waste each year? And yet, much of this waste could be turned into nutrient-rich compost for our urban gardens. Composting doesn't require a lot of space. You can compost right in your kitchen with a small, odor-free bin. And the results? A natural, cost-effective fertilizer that enriches your soil and promotes plant health. And then there's water conservation, a critical aspect of sustainable urban gardening. In many cities, water is a precious resource. But with a little planning and creativity, we can minimize our water usage and still maintain thriving gardens. One way is by selecting drought-resistant plants which require less watering. Another is by using mulch, which helps retain soil moisture and reduces evaporation. Moreover, consider rainwater harvesting. By collecting rainwater in barrels, we can reduce our reliance on treated tap water and give our plants a natural source of hydration. It's a practice that's as good for our wallets as it is for the environment. Incorporating sustainable practices in urban gardening isn't just about doing our part for the environment. It's also about creating a garden that's resilient, self-sufficient, and less dependent on outside resources. And that, in turn, makes our urban gardens more enjoyable, more manageable, and more rewarding. As urban gardeners, we have a unique opportunity to make a difference, right from our balconies, rooftops, and window ledges. We can create green spaces that not only add beauty to our urban landscapes but also contribute to a healthier planet. So let's embrace sustainability in our urban gardens. Let's compost, conserve water, and make choices that benefit our plants and our planet. Because in urban gardening, we don't just grow plants, we grow a healthier planet. Now that you're armed with these tips and techniques, it's time to start your urban gardening journey. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. Urban gardening is not just about planting seeds in pots, it's about transforming limited spaces into lush green canvases of creativity. It's about choosing the right plants that thrive in city environments and making the most of every inch with vertical gardening techniques. Remember, even the smallest balcony can become a thriving garden with the right approach. The urban jungle is teeming with opportunities to create your own green haven. And the best part, you're not just beautifying your space, you're contributing to a greener, healthier city. Moreover, urban gardening is about sustainable practices. It's about using resources wisely, from water to compost, and ensuring your garden is a place of growth and regeneration. It's about creating a space that not only nurtures plants but also nurtures your well-being. So, what's stopping you? You have the knowledge, the inspiration, and the passion. All that's left is to get your hands dirty and plant those seeds. And remember, every garden starts with a single seed. So go ahead and transform your urban spaces into green havens. Share your experiences, ask your questions, and let's grow together in this concrete jungle.